Welcome back, you beautiful people. It is great to see you again, and thanks for joining me once again. Yes, it's a couple of days since you last saw this engine. We got it pulled out of the car. Now, there's nothing else to it. Start stripping it down. But before I can get started on this, I need to clean up my tools because they're just all over the place. And you can't start working on anything when you've got a messy toolbox. Oh, don't worry about it. Let's carry on.
Press the backs of our hands together. It's still wet, so the ink should transfer. Meet me at the side door. We'll sneak on through the main floor. All night, let's take a shot. Keep moving and we won't get caught. Take the long way home. Tonight we're free to roam. Everything's gonna be alright. Just let go, enjoy the ride. To the top of the world tonight.
Just while we're here, I just want to draw your attention to one of the many things that Ford did right with their engine, at least in the Falcons. I can't speak too much for other models, but that is the wiring harness that stays with the engine. You would have seen in the previous video where I just undid a bunch of plugs up in the top near the windscreen. That's that big round one there, and there's a couple of little square one there. And that is it. Engine harness then comes with the engine, unlike that in the Statesman, where the entire wiring harness has to come off the engine before it can come out. Ford had the right idea. Here we are, I got most of this stuff off. That coolant pipe there runs around the other side under the exhaust manifold. Haven't got to that side yet. It's getting a bit late, running out of daylight. There's something I found that really grinds my gears. Is this. What kind of just amateur rubbish job is that? You do not need that much silicone. I'm not saying silicone's bad to use on a gasket surface, but my god, that is disgusting. How much of that has ended up inside the motor? We just don't know. See, that welch plug there is started to corrode out, which is a pretty common theme. We'll see when we get to the other side that the welch plugs under the exhaust manifold are sort of like that, if not worse. That is just not a good sign. But from what I know of this car, it was a sort of a family daily car for about 10 years, and then it sat for a long time. So I'm not all that surprised that there's this sort of corrosion, especially if there was mainly just water in this thing. You know, I'll see more of the details, see more of the story once I get this all apart, but that's just time and sitting. But yeah, that's where we're at so far. So I will catch you tomorrow. We're back for day 2, got the engine turned around now. Strip off this exhaust manifold and get a real good look up into there. You can see all that sort of rusty stuff. That's from where those welch plugs are leaking. So we'll get all this crap off, just get a clearer idea of what's going on. That's how rusted some of these bolts are. I wouldn't be surprised if I break a few. Not too stressed if I do. Not even stressed if I snap these heat shield bolts off in here, because I do have a set of extractors to replace this standard manifold. But broken bolts are always a pain, so I'll try and avoid that if possible. Just as long as I don't snap any off in the head, we're good. Good idea with any bolts that are feeling a bit tight coming out is you put a bit of WD-40 on them, thread them back in a couple of turns, just to try and get that penetrant through the threads. You can just work it out bit by bit. If you just tried to keep sending it, bringing it out, it might catch a thread, and then you either tear the thread out of the head or you snap the bolt. Either way, it's a rough time. Whew. You got lucky there. See how the threads kind of flattened out a little bit, especially down this end here. Usually an indicator that if that hadn't come out that time, that would have been a bad day for me. Straight away, this one's coming out way easier. Yeah, side by side comparison, you just look at those threads. This one that I just took out, nice threads on that one still. You look at that one on the left, flattened threads. So that could have been a very bad day, but thankfully it wasn't. Let's hope that the rest of them are as easy as this guy. I've never quite understood why they had this two-piece manifold design. Was that just convenience, or was it for heating? Because it's such a long manifold, did it heat up at different points? They needed a point in the middle there. Not sure. If anyone does know, actually knows exactly why they did this, let me know. I'm interested. Oh, there's another one that's going. Bit more of the old WD-40. And we'll work on that one. That's not feeling very good at all. Yep, that started to flatten out the threads like that other one. Oh, here we go. That sound there, not a good sound. That is a horrid sound, and I reckon this is going to be my first broken bolt. Let that soak for a little bit longer. Hopefully some of that penetrant gets all up inside there. For now, I'll carry on with the rest of it, see what happens. Now you'll see me using electric ratchet here, even though I mentioned it previously as being potentially bad, but I'm only using it on the bolts that I know are loose and coming out easily. And even then I'm going very slowly, as you can see. Problem with an aluminium casting, whether it's a cylinder head, whether it's an engine block, whether it's a gearbox, whatever the case may be, if you zip this bolt out at full speed, there's a chance that it will still gall up and actually pick up the thread, and it will tear the thread out of that aluminium, and it's just a nightmare. I mean, yes, you can drill it out and put a helicoil in there, a thread repair kit, but it's just a time and effort that no one really wants to expend on a job of any sort of proportion. So just going very slowly with this. And if I feel it slow down or start to pick up, I stop immediately. That's the good thing about going slowly with these, you can feel it. But that one came out nice and easily. Oh, that sounds bad. Feel like it's, oh, yep. Whew. Patience. Patience and penetrant are your friends. I even moved the camera closer, expecting it to snap, and you would have gotten a nice front row seat to it. Not today, guys. Sorry. Maybe next time. Now we've got that exhaust out of the way, we can really get into the meat and potatoes of it and just see really how bad these wash plugs are. So there's 5 wash plugs along this side of the engine. You can see that these 2 have been siliconed up previously. They might have been replaced and had silicon smeared around the outside of the plug, or that silicon's been put on after the fact. Hard to tell at this point. I kind of feel like it was silicon on the plug and then put in, which isn't uncommon. I have heard of that being done before, but usually it's done with a bit more finesse and style than whatever the hell this is. These ones here, maybe because they're a little bit harder to get to, obviously weren't done, and you can see just the effective time, like how bad these are. That is, I'm willing to bet, when I chip away this amount of crap in the side here, I might actually find a little pinhole. Probably even in this one too. And there we have it, folks, just as I suspected. That is one holy Welsh plug. As I suspected, at least one of those Welsh plugs has a hole in it. That doesn't really change anything, I was just sort of confirming suspicions. But now we've got all this off, we'll start pulling this top off, and we'll try and get the cylinder head off today. Looks pretty good up in the top end here. No sludge that I can see. Normally an engine that hasn't been serviced or even has been sitting for a really long time normally gets the oil sort of solidifies, goes to this horrible treacly sludge stuff. That doesn't seem to be the case here, which is very good.
Storms
bit more evidence that the head has been off, which by now is pretty well known fact. I'm fine with that, but more evidence that whoever did it might have been a bit of a cowboy. So this is one of the dowels, locating dowels that holds that whole sort of rocker assembly in place. You could see me take that off just before. Now that's how they're supposed to look. Nice and round, but then you get over here and you see this one. I would say that when they've been bolting that rocker assembly back in place, this side has sort of been up a little bit, and instead of backing everything off and setting it down properly, they've just tightened that bolt down. As it's come down, it's just bent in the side of that dowel. Not the end of the world. I mean, it's certainly not going to affect the operation of the engine, but it's just workmanship. Just do it better. Just be better. Anyway, all that's left now, get these head bolts out. Head will come off. And just before we can pull the head off, there's one last little bolt here. This bolt goes through the timing chain guide here, sort of runs down inside the case here, just keeps that timing chain in the right spot. Actually bolts to the head inside here, so the head won't come off with that bolt still in place, and if it does, it means something's broken catastrophically. But just have a look at how munched the head of that bolt is. That would have been done. You can see evidence of that's been done, been put back together. So that is usually caused by a loose, sort of old worn out socket, or someone going to town with a multi-hex socket like that. Also got 12-point sockets. Now usually what you would do in that case, because you would feel that chewing out before it got to that point, we'd usually go and get a single hex socket like that, also called 6-point sockets. Basically you got a broader, flatter surface to grab onto. Usually that's what you do. I just had to go at it with that one, I could feel it slipping. So the next step is you get specialized sockets like that for undoing bolts like that. Basically what these do, as you are undoing it, those teeth will bite further and further into the head of the bolt, so they won't slip, they'll just bite into it. Basically wrecks the bolt, but it gets it out. And then I have to source a new one of those. So let's do that. Give that a bit of a tap on there. Make sure it's properly seated. See how we go. Oh! I thought that was going to snap it for a second there. But we have liftoff. So it's a very specialised sort of bolt. So I'll have to find something new, or worst case I could try and make one and turn one up on the lathe, but see if I can get just an aftermarket replacement, make it easy.